Pendulum of Risk. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Basic Concept 10 Design. Gravity is usually a predictable enemy. It pulls us down. But when you're anchored at an angle, gravity changes its strategy. It ceases to be a straight line and becomes a curve. This is the physics of the swing, the moment you stop falling and start falling sideways. The reality. Think about your car. If you hit a steel beam at 32 kilometers per hour, you'd expect the airbag to deploy. You'd expect destruction. In a swing fall, your body becomes that car. As you arc toward the center of your anchor, you aren't just descending, you are accelerating into a lethal horizontal plane. The tragedy. This leads us to the most heartbreaking reality in safety, the double impact. Your harness might do its job perfectly, the lanyard might lock. You might survive the fall itself, only to realize the danger isn't over. The momentum doesn't care that your fall was arrested. It carries you forward until something stops you. A wall, a girder, the very structure you were trying to build, the call to action. Physics doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't care about your experience or your family waiting at home. It only follows the math. So, before you clip in at an angle, remember, the swing isn't a ride, it's a pendulum, and you are the weight at the end of it. Stay centered, stay vertical, most importantly, stay alive. The illusion of safety. Now, take a careful look at your gear and equipment. We've spent decades perfecting the snap. We've built harnesses that don't break and anchors that don't budge. But in 2026, we realized a hard truth. Stopping the fall isn't enough to keep you alive. If you're tied off at an angle, you aren't just falling, you're launching. You become a 200-pound pendulum swinging into steel at 30 kilometers an hour. The harness might hold, but the impact won't. That is the pendulum effect. And today, we move past reactive safety into trajectory management. The 2026 solution, proactive mitigation. Search data for 2026 shows a massive shift. We aren't just wearing PPE, we are outsmarting the physics. First, the 30 degrees rule. From now on, if you aren't within 30 degrees of your anchor, you're in the danger zone. We've updated our training modules to help you visualize that safe cone above your head. Second, anti-pendulum anchors. You'll see new deviation anchors at our roof edges and corners. These aren't suggestions, they are pivot points designed to kill the swing before it starts. Third, Class 2 SRLs. We are phasing out older lifelines. If you're near a leading edge, you carry a Class 2 device. It's built to handle the sawing motion of a swing fall without snapping the cable. The why, virtual reality and reality. Many of you have gone through our new VR safety simulations. You've stood on that virtual edge and felt the stomach churning swing toward a digital beam. You've experienced the trajectory without the physical fractures. We use that tech so that when you're out there for real, your brain recognizes the risk before your feet ever slip. We are using 2026 technology to give you a sixth sense for gravity, the call to action. In the old days, safety was a checkbox. Today, it's a strategy. Check your angles, use your deviation anchors, and stay centered. We aren't just here to stop you from hitting the ground. We're here to make sure you go home without a scratch. Now hit that button and subscribe to my channel for further updates on the latest trends for construction safety. Let's own the trajectory today. Work safe. The silent arc, the deception. A fall isn't always a straight drop into the dark. Sometimes it's a swing. It starts with a slip, a momentary loss of footing, and for a split second, you think you're safe. You feel the harness tug. You think, the gear caught me. But then, the physics of the pendulum takes over, the velocity. Gravity stops pulling you toward the earth and starts whipping you toward the steel. In seconds, you are a human wrecking ball, accelerating to over 30 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the air rushes past your ears, but you can't scream because you're looking at what's coming: a concrete pillar, a jagged beam, a wall that wasn't supposed to be there. The impact, the double impact. It's the sound of ribs snapping against iron. It's the internal organs colliding with your own skeletal frame at the speed of a car crash. Your fall protection stopped the vertical drop, but it effectively delivered you to your death sideways. The warning: by the time you feel the swing, it is already too late to stop the math. Physics is a cold executioner. When you work at an angle, you aren't just working off center, you are standing in the shadow of the pendulum that is waiting to swing. Don't let your last moment be the realization that the gear caught you, but the impact killed you. Welcome back, everyone. So, we've talked about the physics, we've discussed the silent arc, and the 3.2 km/h impact that turns a safety harness into a lethal weapon. We know the danger is real, but fear without a plan is just panic. Today, we replace that fear with a strategy. We aren't just going to survive a fall, we are going to defeat the pendulum before it ever starts to swing. It starts with a simple number, 15. That is your magic circle. The moment you move more than 15 degrees away from your anchor point, you have stepped out of fall arrest and into the swing hazard zone. If you can't reach your work within that 15-degree cone, do not reach further. Move your anchor. Before you even clip in, I want you to perform a clear path assessment. Look at your arc of travel. If there is a beam, a wall, or a jagged piece of equipment in that path, your lanyard is no longer your friend. In those cases, we pivot. We switch from fall arrest to travel restraint. We don't manage the fall, we prevent it from happening. The dead center check and rigging. How do you know you're safe? You use the dead center check. Imagine a plumb line dropping straight from your anchor to the floor. If that line doesn't land exactly between your feet, you are at risk. It's that simple. For those of you working across a broad face, we use double anchor rigging. Don't stretch the distance. Use 2 separate anchors and 2 lanyards. Walk your way across. By maintaining 2 points of contact, you turn a potential 20-foot lethal arc into a 6-inch controlled drop. The calculation and the commitment. Finally, remember the math of the swing distance. Your total fall distance isn't just the length of your lanyard, it includes the horizontal travel of the swing. If you haven't calculated the clearance for that arc, you haven't finished your safety check. Physics follows the math every single time. It doesn't negotiate. So we outsmart it, we check our angles, we clear our paths, and we stay centered. We aren't just here to work, we're here to go home precisely the same way we arrived. Work smart, stay vertical, defeat the pendulum. The Chicago Save, a study in strategy. Setting the scene. Imagine a Tuesday morning in Chicago, late 2025. Wind is whipping off the lake at 40 kilometers an hour. High up on a new high-rise, a glazing technician is working the corner office unit. He's experienced, he's focused, and he's clipped into a rock-solid overhead anchor. But because of the building's layout, that anchor is 4 meters back from the edge. To reach the corner, he's working at a sharp 45-degree angle. The incident, it only takes a second. A sudden gust, a slick patch of floor, and his feet go out from under him. He slips over the edge. Now, in the old days of reactive safety, this is where the story turns tragic. Without a plan for the trajectory, gravity would have turned him into a 200-pound pendulum. He would have swung in a violent, accelerating arc, crashing into the concrete pillar of the floor below at the speed of a car wreck. The harness would have held him, but the impact would have ended him. Year 2026. The difference, but this was a 2026 site. They had moved past fall arrest and into trajectory management. As the technician moved toward the corner, he adhered to the new protocol. He used a deviation anchor, which we call a pigtail. He looped his lifeline through that secondary pivot point at the roof's edge before he started his work. When he fell, the physics changed. The pigtail redirected the force. Instead of a lethal horizontal swing, the line caught him and kept his fall perfectly vertical. No arc, no acceleration, no impact. The result and the lesson. 10 minutes later, that worker was hauled back up. He didn't go to the hospital. He didn't have a fractured skull or a crushed chest. He went home to his family that night without a single scratch. That is the difference between wearing gear and using a strategy. We don't just provide anchors to catch you. We offer deviation points to protect you from the building itself. The corner office save wasn't a miracle, it was math. It was the 30-degree rule in action. It was a worker who understood that the trajectory matters as much as the tether. Don't just clip in. Clip in smart. Let's own the trajectory. The new era of zero harm, the statistical shift. Hello everyone, welcome back. For decades, we looked at one metric. Did the harness hold? If the worker didn't hit the ground, we checked the box and called it a success. But in 2026, the industry faced a hard truth. Our fall arrest statistics were strong, but our return to work statistics were failing. Workers were surviving the fall only to face permanent disability from the swing. Therefore, the industry has shifted to the zero harm mandate. We aren't just looking for fall protection anymore. We are searching for impact, free safety, the legal turning point. The landscape of responsibility has changed. With the 2025 and 2026 updates to ANSI Z359, a swing fall is no longer considered an unforeseeable accident. It is now a predictable risk. In a courtroom today, a safety manager can no longer stand up and say, "The gear worked." The question will be, why didn't you account for the trajectory? This shift has turned trajectory calculation tools from a niche software into a daily requirement. If you aren't calculating the arc, you aren't doing your job. The rise of the smart harness. However, we are not relying solely on clipboards and calculators. We've entered the age of connected safety. Many of you are now wearing harnesses equipped with haptic feedback. This isn't just a gadget, it's a sixth sense for gravity. When you move into that danger zone more than 30 degrees from your anchor, your harness will vibrate on your shoulder. It's a digital tap on the back, warning you that you are no longer just a worker, you are becoming a pendulum. We are turning the cold laws of physics into a real-time digital interaction. In conclusion, safety in 2026 is no longer a checkbox. It is a strategy, a legal mandate, and a technological shield. We use the math, we respect the law, and we listen to the gear. We are moving past arresting falls and into owning trajectories. Check your angles, calibrate your zones, and let's make sure every worker goes home the same way they arrived, impact-free.